Thank you, Chairman Lotta, and thank you for the recognition. Thank you for all of our witnesses being here. There's a lot of sayings that I don't see my friend from Michigan in here on our committee this morning, but her husband, a lot of sayings attributed to Chairman Dingell over looking at the globe and say that's the jurisdiction of energy and commerce. Another one is, he always said, for our jurisdiction, if it moves, it's energy. If it's not moving, it's commerce. So that's our jurisdiction. So I use the Dingell corollary. It takes energy to move commerce. And for us to be successful, to turn, somebody said the other day that AI turns energy into intelligence. And so it is vitally important that we as a country get together and figure out how we're going to beat China. And it's by having affordable, reliable delivery of electric power. And the complicated question of how to deliver that power effectively is compounded by the tremendous increase in demand projected over coming years for specific purposes like AI and broader increases in consumer demand. I know we've met slower energy growth over the last generation and also more efficiency, which is absolutely part of it, is to be more efficient. But now we're seeing a rising in demand. And so we have to ensure affordable, reliable delivery of power to meet our needs and the tremendous amount of energy it's going to require for the utility grid. So here in Congress, we must identify and understand the forces impacting the ability of engineers to plan and operate this system for better or for worse. And we must address the common sense policy reforms that would allow utilities and operators to do their work cost effectively. Over the past decade, certain federal and state policies have made it more difficult for operators to keep the lights on. The thrust of the Biden administration's electricity policy was to shut down baseload coal and limit natural gas generation with onerous new rules and regulations. During this time, many states also established policies to transition away from fossil generation that is essential for maintaining grid reliability. Momentum behind this so-called transition continues just as a generational increase in power demand is emerging. Consider how new demand growth is clashing with the residual Biden-Harris policies today. In December, the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, NERC, projected peak power demand to grow by 151 gigawatts over the next 10 years. Over the same period, NERC reports expected retirements of dispatchable generation, which is needed for reliability, to be as much as 115 gigawatts. This gap between retirements and growth in demand alone counts to over 240 gigawatts, or an equivalent amount of power needed to support 195 million homes over an entire year. Ensuring the availability of reliable power will require stopping and reversing retirements of dispatchable resources and building out new natural gas generation and eventually nuclear and other reliable sources. Yet the vast amount of the new generation that is in line today to connect the grid is intermittent wind and solar, which cannot be relied upon when you need it the most. As a result, half of the nation is at risk of power shortfalls over the next 10 years. Think about it, half the nation. For all the benefits of all the above resource policies, the current path that incentivizes a massive renewable build is putting the electric system out of balance and dramatically increasing risk. Today, we will talk to the grid operators that are caught at the center of the clash between failing policies and strong economic demand affecting our nation's generation mix. They must deal with the consequences. So understanding the challenges you face and how you plan to meet the growing demand is essential for our work. Last week, the Secretary of Energy noted that the existential security implications of our race with China on AI and other advanced technologies. A focus on meeting the China challenges and with the deep seek, that should wake us up that we are challenging China. We can't always expect to be on top if we don't focus on being on top. So that should raise serious questions about what is necessary to clear the way in permitting and regulatory policy, which will enable tremendous energy and power growth in the coming years. Recognize we have to be focused on making sure we do everything in the right way, in sustainable way, as much as we can possible. But we have to fully appreciate the scale of the pace of change coming because of the AI, the data centers, and the demand. I spoke with Microsoft. Microsoft data centers, not all, but some Microsoft data centers can use as much power as the city of Seattle. That puts it into perspective. I look forward to this discussion. I will yield back.